Hi everyone, it's Tante Heidi. Welcome here. I'm so glad that you're spending this time with me this morning. I hope that you're doing good. I hope that this week has been kind to you. I know that April has been a bit of a funny month. I feel that not only has it given us April Fool's Day, but with the weather, it's kind of felt like April Fool's month. This week we had one day that included sleet and snow and rain and sunshine. I would just like for the sunshine to stay. But whatever the weather is outside, I'm really glad that you're spending this time together with me. To start off, I have a couple of jokes for you. The first is from Kira, and Kira's joke is, why couldn't Jonah trust the ocean? There's something fishy about it. The next joke is from Pastor Dale. What did the left eye say to the right eye? Between us, something smells. And the last joke is from Tante Debbie. And Tante Debbie's joke is, why did the cookie go to the doctor? Because he felt crummy. Well, I sure hope that you don't feel crummy. I hope that you're actually doing great. Today in our lesson, we're going to be studying more about Paul, and we're going to be looking closer at the book of Philippians. Because we're going to be spending the next couple of Sundays talking about Paul, I thought it'd be a good idea for us to learn more about who he was. When Paul was born with the name Saul. And we're learning this actually out of the book of Acts. If you want to read the book of Acts at some point, you'll find all this information in there. This is what the book of Acts says about Saul. Saul began to destroy the church. Going from house to house, he dragged off both men and women and put them in prison. There are actually many more verses about how Saul disliked Christians this much. He had disliked them so much, he actually asked for permission to go after Christians and that he could throw them into jail. But he wasn't acting as a Roman soldier. He was a Roman. I'll read this next verse for you. A commander asks him, "Tell me, are you a Roman citizen?" And Paul answers, "Yes, I am." But he wanted to punish anyone that followed Christ because he thought that Jesus was a lie. But God changed Saul. Now, he had quite a reputation for being someone that hated Christians and caused them physical harm and also threw them into prison. But God changed him. And this is the story where he changes him. As he neared Damascus on his journey, suddenly a light from heaven flashed around him. He fell to the ground and heard a voice say to him, "Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me?" "Who are you, Lord?" Saul asked. "I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting," he replied. "Now get up and go into the city, and you will be told what you must do." The next verse kind of cracks me up. The men traveling with Saul stood there speechless. They heard the sound but did not see anyone. Well, I'd be speechless too if I just experienced that. But now we understand a little bit more about who Paul was and what an amazing story it is from someone that despised Jesus and became one of the greatest people to start the early church. And because he started these early churches and loved Jesus so much, he was put into prison. And this is where we're starting our lesson today. In the book of Philippians, in chapter 4, we'll start off on verse 12. "I know what it is like to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do everything through him who gives me strength." The word that we're going to be focusing on in today's lesson is that word content. Content is like you're okay with what's going on. It's okay if things don't change. You're not looking to make a drastic change in anything. You're good the way that things are. When looking at the last couple of weeks, there are some things that I am content with. And there are other things that I am not content with. What am I not content with? I'm not content with the arrows on the grocery store floor that tell me what direction I have to go to. I like to wander in a grocery store. I like to explore. And now I feel like I really need to have that list perfectly written so that I know exactly where I need to go. What am I content with? I love the fact that I don't have to make school lunches. I'm loving the fact that I don't have to drive to all of the activities that my kids are in. I love the fact that I can wear sweatpants a lot more. I'm wearing jeans now, but I love my sweatpants. Those are things that I'm content with. Another thing that I'm not content with, I'm not content that I can't hug everybody. I'm not content that I can't see you. I'm really glad that you're spending this time together with me, but boy, oh boy, do I miss seeing your beautiful faces. I'm not content with that. But this is what Paul says about being content. I have learned the secret of being content, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. And I think right now some of us might be feeling that we're living in want. I can do everything through him who gives me strength. Well, the him that Paul is talking about is Jesus. He's saying, I don't have to do this on my own. I actually can't do it on my own. I can do everything through him who gives me strength. It almost reminds me of a toddler learning how to walk. When you see a small child just getting up on their feet and they're wobbling back and forth, well, the only way that they're able to learn how to walk is if someone is helping them, someone is guiding them. Often you'll see a sibling or a parent hold the fingers or the hands of the toddler and they'll slowly start walking. That toddler doesn't learn how to walk all by themselves. They're given help. One of the greatest stories I actually have with my children is when Marky was learning how to crawl. His older sister Olivia sat in front of him with a big balloon. And boy, oh boy, when he saw that balloon, he just went for it. It was a great story. And what it reminds me of is that we all need someone to lean on. We all need someone to encourage us. We all need someone to say, it's okay, even when we're living in plenty or in want. And what Paul says here is, I can do anything if I rely on God's strength. Paul didn't have it easy. He really didn't. He was in prison. He was in chains. His life story is really remarkable. And in this verse, he's saying, I can do everything, whether it's starting an early church and meeting my people and spending time and fellowshipping with them, or if I'm in prison writing letters. He's saying whatever my life situation, whether good or bad, whether I have tons of food or whether I'm really hungry, I can do anything through him who gives me strength. And that's my encouragement for each of us this week. Instead of doing it on our own, we say, you know what, God? I can't do it on my own. And I'm really glad we don't have to. Because Paul says, I can do all things through him who gives me strength. We can trust God and we can ask him. There's no request, no prayer that's too small or too silly for God. Sometimes we've got big prayers, and sometimes our prayers seem kind of small. But whatever it is, God gives us the strength to move forward and to live each day. As we can think about Paul being in prison and having such a hard life while he's in there, he still finds joy and hope because of what the Bible tells him. So I hope that this week, whatever comes your way, that you can turn to God for strength and that you can say, God, I can't do this on my own. I need you. And here's the other thing. God will always be there for you. That's a for sure 100% guarantee. And I hope that that brings you comfort as we embark on a brand new week. Take care, my friends. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I sure hope to hear from you soon. Bye.